Hey everybody, welcome to my home in Deadwood, and sooner or later some cat will show up on my lap. That'll be fine too. And happy January, happy Capricorn. Some people look at this as the new year, and in my context, astrological new year is March 20th, the first day of spring, but I always feel good about the winter solstice because that's when the light starts coming back, and here in the northern hemisphere, and usually it's the darkest of times. But when you think about it, when winter starts, the dark times are already half over. So being that trucks drive by, and being that I live off the grid with solar energy, this is definitely the new beginnings time. And with that in mind, I'm very excited about what's going on now. I know that we've been going through some real challenges, and there's been clashes and opposition out there in the world, and too numerous to name, more than we think about. Really, there's not just one thing out there. There's a lot of dynamics, if you will. Dynamics meaning two names, and so that diversity, that dynamics, that struggle. It doesn't have to be a struggle, because we're about to go through the next portal, and I'm really excited about that. Mars has just entered Capricorn. Sun's already in Capricorn. It's a new moon tomorrow morning, January 11th. So by the time that this gets viewed, it'll be happy new moon as well. And Pluto is about to enter Aquarius. So whole new ball game out there. If you're like me, maybe you've been feeling the doldrums of the non-movement, but suddenly there's going to be a lot of movement in the world. One thing we forget about is that we talk about a void of course moon, but at the end of the passage of any planet through any sign, there's a void of course time. There's a time where the energy is kind of playing out and finishing up, but it's not the new world yet. It's like the king is dying, the new king is not born yet. And in this case, Pluto has to do a transformation, total change, total death and rebirth, and a movement to a new sphere every time that Pluto enters a new sign, which is not that often. It's like a generational shift. So in this case, like Pluto goes for between 12 and 30 years in whatever sign, and it has an elliptical orbit, so it's not even keel, if you will. But Pluto brings forth the changes and the transformations and the necessary annihilation of the past. It's Shiva energy, and from that a new world is born. And so we've had Pluto in Capricorn for since about 2006, and Pluto's about to enter Aquarius on the 21st this month, on January 21st, just when the sun goes into Aquarius. And meanwhile, Mercury, Mars, and Venus also enter Aquarius soon after that, and then that new moon in Chinese New Year and so forth. But Aquarius has to do with new ideas, new ways of looking at things, surprising turns of events, and very much a people and society aspect that affects a really broad range of things. So what we're seeing is that Pluto is just finishing out the last few days of kind of an old cycle that brought us the joys of COVID and government upheaval and all kinds of stuff. And Pluto's about to enter the sign of Aquarius, which a lot of people associate with the New Age, which is kind of, the New Age is not quite here yet, and sometimes I become unpopular for saying that, but basically the paradigm of people, ideas, the hope for the future, and putting new stuff into play. So I'm always excited with like the progressive ideas of like what isn't explored yet, what isn't tried and true, what haven't we thought of yet, where are we going with this, And for me, the entrance of Pluto into Aquarius is just super exciting. But right now we're at Sun in Capricorn, new moon, and then a little while later, by the end of the month, all kinds of stuff in Aquarius. But let's talk about Capricorn a little bit. So Capricorn sets you up for the Aquarian thing, because what happens is signs that are next to each other are kind of a response to each one. So you have the Sagittarius time of freedom and expansion and all that. And when that gets, big and wide and kind of out of hand, what happens is it moves into a grounding state of Capricorn, which means head goat and means like climbing slowly up the mountain. And Capricorn's one of the more, I consider a very dynamic sign, but talking about it is less dynamic, because Capricorn is that solidity, and that solidity guarantees results. And so what happens is energy, when you have the solid, you need it to move. And then the next phase is Aquarius, where it's about new ideas and new ways of doing things that are kind of on the growing on the bones of the past, if you will. I have just been in a place, Barcelona, where the old Roman structures, the old Roman city, is buried underneath layers and layers and layers. That brings us to the hustle and bustle of what's going on now. And it taught me something. It taught me about that I wrote a poem once called the rocks and the dust of today are the rocks in tomorrow's road. And what's happening is we're building something towards the future, and I'm really excited about it. So just in the past, since New Year's, what we've experienced is, as I mentioned, Mars going into Capricorn, which gives a sense of motivation and drive towards new things, but it's moving into an aspect with Jupiter. Jupiter's aligning with Mars, just like the Sun. And Jupiter has been in Taurus last year. Jupiter in Taurus can bring forth a lot of opportunities for money and finance and things like that. But also Jupiter has been retrograde the last 4 months, and then on New Year's, boom, turns around, starts moving forward. So Jupiter's going to be picking up steam, and Jupiter's about abundance, as I mentioned, and opportunities, and particularly having to do with Earth plane, and it's going to trine Mars, it's going to trine Mercury, and it's going to move through very rapidly. And so this is a good time to be planning for the future, to be reaching out, to be making an impact, and to kind of get out of the doldrums and start moving. And that's the theme of right now, is the movement coming from zero and then picking up steam and doing things with it. So I encourage you to be moving into a time of doing, because your doings should be being rewarded. The energy has been in a doldrum space, and now it's going to be going somewhere. But where's it going to go? Well, that's what Aquarius is about. It's about like visualizing the new, visualizing the potential, visualizing ideas and creation, which we haven't had recently before that. So it's a time to start with the new paradigm, to start with a new way of doing things, and release the old rehashing of old ideas and things like that. So we're seeing here it is on January 10th, January 11th, new moon, and then on January 20th, the Sun goes into Aquarius with Pluto at the same time. They both move together. And then, like I said, Mars, Venus, and Mercury also following suit. So that's why right now, take care of your last loose ends. Find the grounding. Find the root of your connection, like the roots of the trees, and then grow tall from that. So that's kind of the overwhelming theme for now. Pluto is going to be moving into the early part of Aquarius, and then goes, backtrack, retrograde. So in the fall, Pluto will once again kind of give its last licks to Capricorn, and it's been a long road with that. So I'm really so we're going to get one more taste of that, and I usually tend to err in favor of caution rather than the super excitement that a lot of astrologers do. There's this thing that, here it is, it's the new improved thing. But that's going on. There is the new improved thing coming right up. And a new paradigm, a new way of thinking, a new way of being. But it's important to find your grounding to do that, and to embrace. In order to embrace the new, you have to be solid in yourself, and then you can dream. Then you can dream and project and find your new path. So, going to give you a little bit of homework, which is the essay question: what is it that you would like to do this year that you've never done before? A lot of New Year's resolutions are about giving up something, but this is about imagining a new path, and that's your homework for now. Because when we come back together a month from now, a lunar month from now, it'll be Chinese New Year with a lot of planets in Aquarius, and that's going to be the ultra idealistic time. And but with the solidity of now, you can use it as a springboard into that future. So I wish you well with that, and let's get back together in the month's time, and we'll be talking about where we're projecting all this energy, and find joy in that new creativity, because it's coming right up, and apply yourself to that. Not just daydream, but point your arrows to the future. Okay, that's it for now.